We can use back references to refer to matches that we've already specified. So for example, I have a string here of a bunch of email addresses followed by a semicolon. So I'm going to add mine at the very end. And the reason is I want to select this one and this one, but I only want to do it by typing that sequence of characters once. So let's first get started. We can be specific in this case, so I'm going to type it all out. Look for Jeffrey@envato.com, and then we're going to say, look for anything. And notice it's greedy. It's going to try to match as much as it possibly can. So we're going to say, look for anything until you come to a J. Now, I want you to note, remember about not being greedy. So in this case, it stopped once it got to the J. But if we were to copy this and do it one more time, it's going to select to that one as well. Because it's greedy. It's going to try to match as much as it possibly can as long as it does retain that match. So first it gets to that J and it's like, you know what, I bet I can keep going because there's a J up here. And then it gets to that one and it looks ahead and says, there's another J, I can keep matching. So if we want to specify again, don't be greedy, we use a question mark after the plus sign. And now note, immediately when it finds that J, it stops because we've told it not to be greedy. So now we're going to say, keep going until you get to my name again. So what we can do here is we can wrap this within parentheses and wrap the first one as well. And now if I use $1, we reference that first occurrence. And if I do a new line and $2, we've referenced that second occurrence as well. But now we've typed the same sequence of characters 2 times. So we can use a back reference. I'm going to change all of this out. And to use a back reference, I use \1. And now note that we're getting the exact same set of matches. But \1 refers to what we matched first. So if I get rid of the parentheses, like so, you'll note that we're no longer matching because we're saying go back to that first back reference, but there is no first back reference, so it doesn't do anything. So I do need to make sure that I use parentheses. For example, if I only want to match Jeffrey, you'll see that \1 is equal to Jeffrey at this point, so that's all that it matches, like so. If we go back to Jeffrey@envato.com, now we have a sequence, then we say look for anything else until you get to Jeffrey@envato.com. And that's how you use back references. In the next chapter, we're going to return back to our PHP with some of this new knowledge, and I'm going to show you some practical situations when you would use regular expressions. For example, we're going to be working with forms, so we'll look at how to match phone numbers and email addresses and passwords and making sure that passwords meet certain criteria. And then we'll also look at simple things like correcting common misspellings and stuff that you'll do in your everyday regular expression work. So that will be in chapter 4.